made on the fly having to do with international law and Canada's responsibilities in that regard. Yesterday, the Minister of Defence said there was an agreement. There was no agreement. He misled Canadians. Crystal clear, after having said for ages that we didn't need one. Now the Prime Minister is saying we don't have one now, we've had access all along, and we're going to get an agreement anyway. Have we used the access? Have we used it? Have we fulfilled our responsibilities? And when's he going to fire?
The Honourable Minister of Public Safety.
Mr. Speaker,
Order. The Minister of Public Safety has the floor, however enthusiastic or otherwise members may be. He's been recognized. We will hear him.
Mr. Speaker, they're always intent wanting to hear false allegations, but when it comes to hearing the truth, they try and shout it down. I can tell you, Mr. Speaker, that for a considerable period of time now, our own corrections service here in Canada has had corrections officers working in Kandahar. And in fact, I talked with one of them 2 days ago, Mr. Speaker, 15 times already. She has had access to the prison facility in Kandahar, has full access. Wow. Also did a visit yesterday to the detention facility. Improvements are being made. It's difficult. It's moving, but it's difficult. But improvements are being made, Mr. Speaker.
The member for Toronto, Danforth.
Mr. Speaker, why was this information, these so-called facts, not brought up in this House before? What is going on here? Are we seeing fabrication on the fly? Are we seeing serious policy making? Are we seeing responsible government? The fact is no. We're seeing day by day a patchwork quilt of inventions and fabrications. And Canadians want some responsibility here. When is the Prime Minister going to first of all make the decision to stop transferring detainees? That has to happen. And when is he going to fire his Minister of Defence, who can't even answer the question?
The Right Honourable the Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I said repeatedly to the Leader of the NDP and others in the House this week that the facts that the allegations they were making did not accord with the facts as we understood them. I undertook that we would consult over the next few days to see what the facts are. I can tell them that this allegation that there is no access to the Afghan prisons turns out to be completely false, and I understand the Afghan Independent Human Rights Commission has denied other things today about that were reported about them. The question, Mr. Speaker, is why the Leader of the NDP doesn't simply withdraw the allegation rather than continuing to bash the mission and the Canadian military.
The Honourable the Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, everybody is trying to understand the new story of the government. It's not anymore the Red Cross. It's not anymore the Human Rights Commission of Afghanistan. It's us, it's Canada, Canadians monitoring to protect the detainees to be sure that their rights are respected according to the Geneva Convention. It's Canadians doing that, but it's not soldiers, since the General said it's not soldiers. So who is doing it? And is the Prime Minister able to guarantee that these detainees are indeed considered according to the Geneva Convention?
The Right Honourable the Prime Minister.
I'll spell it out for the Leader of the Opposition. For 4 years, in spite of repeated reports about these kinds of concerns in Afghanistan, the previous Liberal government had no policy on detainees whatsoever. In the dying days of that administration, an agreement was signed. We have since improved that agreement, and we're working with the Afghan Independent Human Rights Commission on that agreement. We have subsequently received additional information and willingness from the Afghan authorities to open any prison to any branch of the Canadian government through a formal agreement. We will pursue such a formal agreement, and I wish the Leader of the Opposition, rather than continuing to justify the accusation, would just withdraw it.